my school technology survey, I interviewed Mrs. Anderson, who is still a current teacher at my former high school, Mullen High School in Mullen, Nebraska. Mullen High School, which is where I went to high school, is a D2 school in western Nebraska. The class sizes average about 12, and there are around 150 kids in grades K through 12. The first question that I asked Mrs. Anderson is what some recent updates are that she's made that allow her students to use more technology. Her answer to this was that she has made it so her students have easier access, more options, and more classroom opportunities. An example of making easier access for students is that they've just recently implemented a program that gives every student in grades 11 and 12 their own Microsoft Surface. These students get the Surfaces and they can take them home and they're basically theirs. And then after they graduate, they get to keep them. She's created more options for students by using both Microsoft and Apple softwares. They use Microsoft computers all throughout the school, but then they also have access to iPads and other various examples of Apple software. They've created more classroom opportunities by giving the teachers and students access to 2 computer carts throughout the high school. The teachers can just check these out and use them in whichever period that they need them, as long as they're not already checked out by another teacher. The second question that I asked Mrs. Anderson is what she uses technology for the most in her classroom. And her response to this was that she uses Google Docs, a smartboard, and student response systems. She said she uses Google Docs by making sure that the students do their projects on Google Docs rather than using the Microsoft Word and PowerPoint. She said that she does this because it gives her easier access, and then it also makes it so that the students don't have to be together to work on their projects. She said that she uses a smartboard every day in her classroom. She does have a regular whiteboard in her classroom, but she doesn't really use it very often. She uses a smartboard because she said that she can both project things on it and still write on it, so it's just easier for her. And then she uses student response systems such as Poll Everywhere to take polls throughout the class about how well the class is gathering the information that she's teaching. She uses a smartboard by, like I said, she said this is what she uses the most in her classroom, probably because she uses it on a daily basis. She uses it to project her lectures, and then she also uses it to take notes on so that the students can copy off the notes. And then she also uses it to project movies on sometimes because she's a history teacher. And so oftentimes they'll watch a movie that's based off of a certain historical event. And she said that she likes the smartboard because she can do all of these things on it and it's just one thing, one item, and so it's really convenient for her. The third question that I asked her is, do you find technology helpful within the school? And her response to this was yes and no. She said yes because it helps people keep in touch with each other better. It helps the teachers be more involved in each other with each other's classrooms, and which makes it an overall better learning environment for the students. And she said no because it's often a distraction for students. An example of keeping in touch goes not only within the school, but it also goes for families. An example of this is my high school broadcasts games on a YouTube channel so that families can watch. And here's an example of a broadcast that they've done. This is a conference basketball game that my high school played in. The fourth question that I asked Mrs. Anderson is what her favorite ways to use technology in the classroom were and why. And her answer to this was again, she loves using smartboards, Google Docs, and the surfaces. I already kind of talked about why she enjoys the smartboards so much and why they're so convenient for her. She really likes Google Docs because it not only makes it easier for her, but it makes it more convenient for the students. Because it is such a small school, all of the students are involved in a lot of activities, and so doing projects and stuff can really cut into their free time if they're not careful. And then she really likes the surfaces also for the convenience for the students. It makes it easier again for projects and stuff like that. And then it also is really nice because this way you're not sharing as the two computer carts with quite as many students. My fifth question for Mrs. Anderson is what does she like and dislike about using technology in the classroom and why? She said that she likes that she and the students are constantly learning new things and that there are more opportunities for learning. And she dislikes less that there's less face-to-face interaction. She again with the like, she likes how whether it be about the subject or about just technology in general, with these things that they have implemented in the school, everybody's constantly learning things. And then another example of this is distance learning. Uh, what she disliked was less face-to-face interaction, so Google Docs is kind of an example of this. Some criticisms I have for the school is that they want to go paperless, but they don't have, not every individual has access to computers. They don't have a full-time tech support teacher, and there are still a lot of old school teachers. Uh, the school is working on going paperless, but each student in the high school still doesn't have a computer. While they do have computer carts, uh, not every individual has their own. And then our tech support teacher is still also just a computer teacher, and so she still has classes. And then we do still have a lot of teachers that are not quite open-minded to technology. Some suggestions that I have are to expand more and go more into depth with using different kinds of computers, to intensify the way that they use technology, and then to more safely monitor the way they use technology. A way they could expand is by maybe going into the one-to-one program where each student would get their own individual laptop. They could intensify things by, again, having a full-time tech support teacher so that teachers aren't quite as scared, I guess, to use the technology. And then they could more safely monitor things by blocking off more websites, because while some websites are blocked, not all of them are. And thanks for listening.